Cat finds girl trapped in abandoned house basement. His reaction is amazing. Amanda Johnson was running desperately through the streets of Hope Valley in Denver, screaming her daughter Emma's name, who had disappeared 3 hours earlier while playing in Grandma Dorothy's backyard. That's when Patches, the family's tabby cat, appeared, meowing insistently and tugging at the hem of her skirt. The feline seemed desperate to show her something urgent. His meows were different, almost frantic. Amanda followed the animal as he led her to the old storage shed at the back of the family property, a structure that had been condemned years ago due to structural issues. The cat frantically scratched at the rusted iron door, and that's when Amanda heard it, a muffled cry coming from inside. Her heart raced as she recognized Emma's voice. "Mommy! Mommy, get me out of here!" The desperate little voice echoed from the dark interior. Amanda tried to open the door, but the old padlock was rusted shut. Her hands shook as she pulled and pushed, but nothing worked. Panic set in as she realized Emma had been trapped for hours in that damp, dark place. "Hang on, sweetheart, Mommy's going to get you out!" Amanda shouted, fighting to keep her voice steady as tears streamed down her face. Patches kept meowing and scratching at the door as if he fully understood the gravity of the situation. The cat had been Emma's birthday gift the year before, and the two were inseparable. Amanda had always found it curious how the animal seemed to protect the little girl, following her everywhere. Dear listener, if you're enjoying this story, don't forget to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It helps us a lot as we're just starting out. Now back to the story. Amanda grabbed her phone to call the fire department, but there was no signal in that part of the yard. She ran back to the house, screaming for help. Grandma Dorothy, her mother, rushed outside when she heard her daughter's distress. "Mom, Emma's trapped in the old shed. The lock's stuck." Grandma Dorothy paled. That shed was a structure from the 1960s that her late husband had used to store tools. After a roof issue, they had condemned the place, but Emma must have found a way inside during her childhood explorations. The two women ran back, now joined by Mr. Willis, the neighbor who had heard the commotion. He brought some tools, but the padlock was too sturdy. Meanwhile, Patches had discovered a small gap between the broken roof tiles and disappeared inside the shed. "Emma, Patches is in there with you," Amanda shouted, trying to comfort her daughter. From inside, they heard the little girl sob, "He's here, Mommy. He's cuddling with me." Amanda felt the weight of guilt. As a single mother, she worked 2 jobs to support the household. She left Emma in Grandma Dorothy's care, but she knew that at 73, her mother couldn't keep up with the energy of a 7-year-old. The girl was curious and adventurous, always exploring forgotten corners. Mr. Willis tried to saw through the padlock while more neighbors gathered to help. Mrs. Parker brought a powerful flashlight, and Ryan, her teenage son, offered to try, breaking down the door with his shoulder. "No!" Grandma Dorothy shouted. "The structure's unstable. If we force it, it could collapse." The panic grew. Amanda's chest tightened, her breathing ragged. How had she let this happen? Memories of the past few months flashed through her mind like a movie. The nights she came home too late to tuck Emma in, the weekends she spent working instead of playing with her daughter, the unfulfilled promises of taking her to the park. Then Patches reappeared through the same gap, meowing wildly. But this time he carried something in his mouth, a rusted key. Amanda's eyes widened. Could it be? With trembling hands, she picked up the cat key and tried it on the padlock. To everyone's surprise, after a few attempts and a bit of oil that Mr. Willis provided, the lock gave way. The door creaked open, revealing Emma huddled in a corner, her little face streaked with tears and dust. Amanda rushed over and hugged her daughter tightly, both of them crying. Emma was dirty and frightened, but seemingly unharmed. Patches purred, loudly rubbing against their legs. "Patches stayed with me the whole time, Mum. He didn't leave me alone." Grandma Dorothy was also crying as she embraced her daughter and granddaughter. The neighbors applauded, some moved to tears. But Amanda knew this scare was a sign. Something had to change in their lives. That night, after giving Emma a bath and tucking her into bed with Patches curled at her feet, Amanda sat at the kitchen table with her mother. The silence between them was heavy, filled with unspoken words. "Mom, I'm so sorry," Amanda began, her voice choked. I know it's been hard for you to take care of Emma." Grandma Dorothy let out a deep sigh. "Sweetheart, I love my granddaughter more than anything. But you're right, I don't have the energy to keep up with her anymore. Today could have been a tragedy." It was true. The storage shed had serious structural issues. Part of the roof had collapsed months ago, and there was a real risk of the whole thing coming down. If Emma had stayed inside longer, if she had moved around too much trying to escape. "I'm going to cut back on my workload," Amanda decided. "I'll talk to my boss tomorrow." "And how will we pay the bills?" Grandma Dorothy asked, ever practical. Amanda had no answer. Ever since Emma's father had abandoned them when she was just 2 years old, Amanda had carried the weight of all their expenses alone. Rent, bills, school, everything depended on her 2 jobs. Giving up one would mean tightening an already tight budget even further. The next morning, Amanda woke up determined. She calmly prepared Emma's breakfast, something she hadn't done in months. The little girl noticed the difference. "Are you taking me to school today, Mum?" "Yes, sweetheart. And we'll talk about yesterday." On the way, Amanda explained to Emma the dangers of exploring off-limits places. The girl listened attentively, Patches in her lap. Amanda had made an exception to let the cat come along. "But Mum, I just wanted to find a secret spot to make a surprise for you," Emma confessed. "What surprise, honey?" Emma lowered her head. "I was making a sketchbook, drawings of us doing things together, for when you had time." Amanda's heart broke. Her daughter had literally been hiding away to draw moments they weren't living. The guilt weighed even heavier. At work, Amanda gathered her courage and went to speak with her boss, Richard Cooper. He listened carefully as she explained the situation. "Amanda, you're one of our best employees, but I understand your situation. However, I can't reduce your hours and keep your salary the same." It was what she had feared. She left his office devastated. How could she choose between financial security and her daughter's emotional well-being? That's when Jennifer, her co-worker, called her aside during lunch. "Amanda, I heard what happened with Emma. What a scare." Amanda told her everything, including her current dilemma. Jennifer listened thoughtfully. "You know, my sister is looking for someone to help with craft work. She sells online and business is booming. The best part is, you can do it from home." It was a light at the end of the tunnel. Amanda wrote down the contact, hopeful. Maybe she could supplement her income while working from home and spending more time with Emma. That afternoon, when picking Emma up from school, Amanda noticed something different. Emma was quiet, distant. Her teacher, Nicole, pulled her aside. "Amanda, Emma has been more withdrawn these past few weeks." Today she drew a picture that worried me. It was a drawing of a little girl alone in a dark house with a cat as her only company. Amanda Johnson felt a lump in her throat. At home, she found Grandma Dorothy in the backyard, watching the condemned storage shed. Mr. Willis was there, along with other neighbors, putting up barriers to block any access. "We need to tear this down," said Grandma Dorothy. "It's dangerous." Amanda agreed, but she knew it would also cost money they didn't have. Everything cost money. Everything required time she didn't have. The vicious cycle seemed never-ending. That night, as she tucked Emma into bed, the little girl asked, "Mommy, why did Daddy leave?" It was a question Amanda had dreaded for years. Emma rarely mentioned her father. Michael had left without explanation, leaving only a letter saying he wasn't ready to be a father. Some people aren't prepared for responsibilities, sweetheart, but that has nothing to do with you. You're perfect. "Then why are you always away too?" The question cut like a knife. Amanda hugged her daughter tightly. "I work so hard to take care of us, my love. But you're right. I need to be here more. I promise I'll change that." "You've promised before," Emma said softly. It was true. Amanda had made that promise so many times she'd lost count. But this time was different. It had to be. Patches jumped onto the bed, settling between them. The cat seemed to know his presence was needed. Amanda stroked his soft fur. "You saved the day, didn't you, Patches?" The cat purred in response. Emma hugged him. "He always knows when I need him. Like yesterday, he stayed with me the whole time, comforting me so I wouldn't be scared." Amanda thought about how animals could sometimes be more sensitive than humans. Patches had sensed the danger and acted. She, as a mother, had failed to notice the signs that Emma needed more attention. The next day, Amanda called Jennifer's sister. Ashley answered excitedly. "Jennifer told me about you. I really need help. The business grew faster than I expected." They arranged to meet over the weekend. Amanda felt a flicker of hope. Maybe she could balance work and motherhood after all. But the week brought new challenges. On Thursday, Amanda got a call from the school. Emma had gotten into a fight with a classmate. "This isn't like her," said the principal, Margaret. But Emma pushed Olivia after an argument. Amanda rushed out of work. She found Emma in the office, head down. On the way home, in silence, Amanda tried to process what was happening. Her sweet Emma, always kind and gentle, acting aggressively. At home, they sat on the couch. Patches immediately jumped into Emma's lap. "Do you want to tell me what happened?" Emma started crying. "Olivia said I'm weird because I don't have a dad and my mom never comes to school. She said that's why I talk to the cat, because I don't have a real family." Amanda felt anger rise but controlled it. "And you pushed her because of that?" "She said Patches was my only friend because no one wants to be friends with someone who doesn't have a family." Amanda's heart shattered all over again. Children could be cruel, but Olivia's words touched on a painful truth. Emma was isolating herself and Patches had become her main companion. "Honey, we are a family. You, me, Grandma, and even Patches. Families come in all shapes." "But other. Moms go to school performances. They go to meetings, they bring special snacks on birthdays." Every word was a stab. Amanda had missed the last Mother's Day performance. She'd forgotten to send snacks for a classmate's birthday. They were details that might seem small to a busy adult, but meant the world to a 7-year-old. That night, Amanda couldn't sleep. She watched Emma sleeping, with Patches curled protectively beside her. How had she let it come to this? Grandma Dorothy appeared in the doorway with 2 cups of tea. "Come, let's talk," she whispered. In the kitchen, mother and daughter sat face to face. The clock read 2 in the morning. "I failed her, Mom. You're doing the best you can, sweetheart. But it's not enough. She's suffering. She's becoming aggressive, withdrawn." Grandma Dorothy took her daughter's hand. "Remember when you were her age? Your father worked so much too, you barely saw each other." Amanda remembered. The nights waiting for her dad to come home, the broken promises, the feeling of abandonment even while living under the same roof. "I swore it would be different with Emma. And it still can be. You've recognized the problem. That's half the solution." But Amanda knew recognition wasn't enough. She needed action, real change. On Saturday, Amanda met with Ashley. The woman, around 35, welcomed her into her home studio, a colorful and cozy space filled with handmade crafts. "I mostly make decorative pieces and personalized keepsakes. Demand grew a lot after some influencers shared my work." Ashley showed her the process, the materials, the prices. Amanda had a knack for handiwork, inherited from Grandma Dorothy, who'd always been a seamstress. "How much could I earn?" she asked, cutting to the chase. "It depends on your dedication. I started making about $800 a month, and now I make around $3,000, but I work hard." It was less than Amanda earned at one of her jobs, but if she could keep at least one steady job and supplement with crafts. "And the best part," Ashley continued, "is you set your own hours. You can work late at night, in the afternoon, whenever." Amanda left with a bag of materials to try and her mind buzzing with possibilities. Maybe, just maybe, it could work. When she got home, a scene stopped her at the door. Emma was in the backyard with Grandma Dorothy, the 2 of them planting flowers in a makeshift bed. Patches supervised the operation, occasionally pouncing on an adventurous butterfly. "Mommy!" Emma ran to her. "Grandma's teaching me how to plant. We're gonna have a garden." The smile on her daughter's face was worth any sacrifice. Amanda joined them, getting her hands dirty, laughing at Patches' antics as he insisted on lying right where they wanted to plant. "You know," Grandma Dorothy said, "when your grandmother was alive, she used to say a garden is like a family. It needs daily care, patience, and lots of love." Amanda understood the message. Her family needed daily care, not just financial, but emotional. That night after dinner, Amanda made a decision. She called Richard, her boss. "Richard, I need to quit the night shift. Can I stay on just for mornings?" There was silence on the other end. "Amanda, you know we need someone full-time. If you leave nights, I'll have to hire someone else. I can't guarantee your morning spot." It was a huge risk, but Amanda looked at Emma playing with patches in the living room and knew there was no choice. "I understand. Then consider this my 2 weeks' notice starting Monday." When she hung up, her hands were shaking. She'd just given up stability it had taken years to build. Grandma Dorothy, who'd overheard, placed a hand on her shoulder. "You did the right thing, sweetheart. But what if I can't support us? What if the crafts don't work out? Then we'll figure it out. We always have, haven't we?" It was true. Ever since Grandma Dorothy's husband died 15 years ago, they'd faced every kind of hardship. They had survived Michael's abandonment, Emma's premature birth, and financial crises. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, please take a moment to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It helps us so much as we're just starting out. Now, continuing. Monday arrived with a mix of anxiety and hope. Amanda woke up early and prepared a special breakfast for Emma, cat-shaped pancakes in honor of Patches. "Mommy, aren't you going to work today?" Emma asked suspiciously. "I am, but only in the morning. I'll be here when you get back from school this afternoon." Emma's eyes lit up. "Really? Every day?" "Every day, I promise." But Amanda knew promises weren't enough anymore. She had to prove it with actions. The first few weeks were challenging. Amanda worked mornings at the office, rushed home at lunchtime, picked Emma up from school, and spent afternoons helping with homework while crafting handmade pieces. Nights were entirely dedicated to production. Often she worked until dawn, with Patches as her silent companion, napping on the fabric. The first month was tight. The money from her crafts was still meager and bills piled up. Amanda had to make tough choices, cancelling cable TV, cutting back on groceries, saving wherever possible. Emma noticed the changes but didn't complain. In fact, she seemed happier than ever. Having her mother present was worth more than any material luxury. One afternoon, Amanda received a large order, 50 wedding favors. It was a chance to earn well, but the deadline was tight. "Can I help, Mommy?" Emma offered. And so began a family operation. Emma sorted materials, Grandma Dorothy cut the fabric, and Amanda assembled the pieces. Even Patches participated, overseeing quality control or trying to nap on the finished work. They worked together for days, chatting, laughing, and sharing stories. Amanda learned things about her daughter she hadn't known before. Her fear of thunder, her love for astronomy, her dream of becoming a veterinarian. "It's because of Patches," Emma explained. "I want to take care of all animals like he takes care of me." The delivery was a success. The client, impressed with the quality, placed more orders and recommended them to friends. Slowly, the business began to grow, but not everything was smooth sailing. On a rainy afternoon, Amanda received a letter that chilled her to the bone. Michael was requesting shared custody of Emma. After 5 years of complete absence, Emma's father reappeared, demanding rights he had abandoned. The letter, sent by a lawyer, claimed he was now financially and emotionally stable and wanted to be part of his daughter's life. Amanda felt the ground vanish beneath her. How dare he? After all the abandonment, all the solitary struggle, now he wanted to play father. Grandma Dorothy found her daughter crying in the kitchen, the crumpled letter in her hands. "What does he want? To destroy everything we've built?" "Calm down, dear, let's think clearly." But Amanda couldn't think clearly. Anger, fear, and indignation swirled inside her. How would she tell Emma? How could she explain that the father who abandoned her now wanted to see her? She decided to seek legal help. Attorney Sarah, recommended by Jennifer, met her at her office. "He has rights as the biological father, but emotional abandonment works against him. We need to document everything. The lack of child support, his absence, the psychological impact on the child." Amanda left with a list of documents to gather and a heavy heart. She didn't want to deprive Emma of knowing her father, but she also couldn't let him come and go from her life as he pleased. At home, she found Emma playing with Patches in the backyard. The girl was building a cardboard house for the cat, who supervised the construction with feline interest. "Mommy, look, I made a house for Patches. Now he doesn't have to sleep in the old storage shed anymore." Amanda smiled, remembering how the incident in the shed had been the catalyst for all the changes. Patches had literally saved more than just Emma that day. He had saved the whole family. That night, Amanda decided to tell Emma the truth. The little girl had a right to know. "Sweetheart, I need to tell you something about your father," Amanda said. Emma stopped drawing and looked up at her mother. Patches, as always, sensed the tension and jumped into the girl's lap. "Does he want to meet me?" Emma asked, surprising. Amanda. "How did you—" Olivia said her dad left too and then came back. "She said it happens." Amanda took a deep breath. "Yes, he wants to meet you. But that doesn't mean it'll happen right away. We need to think about what's best for you." "I'm scared," Emma confessed, hugging Patches tighter. "Scared of what, my love?" "Scared he'll take me away, scared I'll have to choose, scared I'll love him more than you." Amanda pulled her daughter close, tears streaming down her face. "You'll never have to choose. Love isn't a competition. You can love both of us and still have room for more love. But he didn't love me before. Why would now be different?" It was a question Amanda had asked herself too. Why now? What had changed in Michael? Days later, the answer came. Michael had remarried and his wife couldn't have children. Suddenly, Emma had become convenient. The news came from Michael's cousin Christine, who called Amanda. "Amanda, I know we haven't spoken in years, but I had to warn you. Michael isn't being honest. His wife, Pamela, is pressuring him. She wants a ready-made family." Amanda felt even angrier. Emma wasn't an object to fulfill a couple's desires. She was a child with her own feelings, fears, and needs. Amanda decided to fight. With attorney Sarah's help, she built a strong case. She documented every moment of absence, every achievement Emma had made without her father, every hardship they'd faced alone. But she also documented the new life they'd built, the afternoons together, the family craft projects, the garden growing in their yard, the renewed bond between them. The day of the first hearing arrived. Amanda was nervous, but determined. She left Emma with Grandma Dorothy and Patches, promising everything would be all right. In court, she saw Michael for the first time in 5 years. He looked different, older, more serious. Beside him stood a blonde woman who must have been Pamela. The judge, Judge Robert Franklin, a stern-looking man with graying hair, listened to both sides. Michael claimed he had changed, that he regretted his past and wanted to be a present father. Amanda laid out the facts, the abandonment, Emma's trauma, the life they'd built without him. "And the child? What does she want?" the judge asked. A meeting with the court psychologist was scheduled. Emma would have to share her feelings with a stranger. The wait was agonizing. Amanda barely slept, going through the motions at work, fear consuming her thoughts. What if Emma, in her childlike innocence, said she wanted to meet her father? What if the judge ruled in Michael's favor? Grandma Dorothy was her anchor. "Trust in Emma, dear. You've raised her well. She knows what real love is." On the day of the interview, Emma came out clutching a drawing. She wouldn't show Amanda, saying it was a surprise. The psychologist, Dr. Hayes, spent 2 hours with her. When they emerged, Emma seemed calm, even smiling. "She's a very special child," Dr. Hayes told Amanda. "Remarkably mature for her age." The report would be sent to the judge, more waiting, more anxiety. Meanwhile, life went on. Craft orders increased. Emma thrived in school, and the garden bloomed. Patches, now with a new collar engraved with his name, a gift from Emma with the first money she earned helping with sales, remained the silent guardian of the family. One afternoon, Amanda received a special order: decorations for a cat-themed 15th birthday party. The birthday girl was passionate about cats and wanted everything personalized. "Can I draw cats to put on the pieces?" Emma offered. Her drawings had improved a lot. The art therapy offered by her school was helping the girl express her feelings. They worked together on the project, Emma drawing various kittens inspired by Patches, Amanda turning the drawings into appliques for the party favors. That's when Emma made a confession. Mom, I told the doctor I already have a family. I said I don't need anyone else who didn't want me before. Amanda stopped what she was doing. And what else did you say? That Patches taught me about real love. He didn't leave when I was a baby. He stayed, like you and Grandma. The child's wisdom always surprised Amanda. Emma had understood in her simplicity what commitment and true love meant. The judge's decision came 2 weeks later. Amanda opened the envelope with trembling hands, Grandma Dorothy by her side. Michael would have the right to supervised visits once a month for 2 hours in a neutral location. Only after 6 months, depending on Emma's adjustment, could the visits progress. It was a victory, but Amanda knew it was just the beginning. Emma would have to face the father who abandoned her, and that wouldn't be easy. The first visit was scheduled for a Saturday. Amanda prepared Emma carefully, talking about what to expect, assuring her she'd be nearby. "Can I take Patches?" Emma asked. Amanda wanted to say yes, but the rules didn't allow animals in the visitation center. "How about taking a drawing of him? That way it's like he's there." Emma agreed and spent the week making the perfect drawing of Patches. The day arrived. In the visitation center, a colorful room with toys and games, Emma waited. Amanda stayed in the next room, able to observe. Through a one-way mirror. Michael walked in nervously. Pamela wasn't present, just him and the supervisor. "Hi, Emma. You've gotten so big." Emma clutched the drawing to her chest. "Hi." The silence was uncomfortable. Michael tried to make conversation, asking about school, about what she liked. "I like my cat. His name is Patches. He saved me." "Saved you? How?" Emma told him about the day in the storage room, how Patches had found the key, how he always looked after her. "You weren't there." "But Patches was." "He always is." Amanda saw Michael lower his head. The truth in the child's voice was piercing. The 2 hours dragged on. Michael tried, but the connection wasn't there. Years of absence couldn't be erased with one visit. When they left, Emma ran into Amanda's arms. "There, Mom, I did it. Can we go home now?" At home, Patches waited by the window. Seeing Emma, he meowed loudly and jumped into her arms. "I knew you'd come back," Emma whispered to the cat. "You always do." Life returned to its routine. The monthly visits continued, always difficult, always tense. Michael tried, but Emma kept her distance. She was polite, answered his questions, but there was no affection. During one visit, Michael brought expensive gifts, a tablet, dolls, video games. Emma looked at them all and said, "I don't need these. I have everything I need at home." But they're presents. All kids like presents. My mom taught me the best things can't be bought, like Patches' love. You can't buy that. Watching, Amanda felt proud of her daughter. Emma had understood values many adults didn't. Pamela showed up at one of the visits against the court order. She tried to be friendly, but Emma saw through the act. "You don't like cats, do you?" Emma asked suddenly. Pamela was taken aback. "Why do you say that?" "Because people who like cats understand patience and true love. You seem to be in a hurry." The child's observation hit the mark. Pamela wanted an instant family, not understanding that bonds are built with time and dedication. Months passed. Amanda Johnson's craft business flourished. She had created a special line of products with Emma's drawings, and the success was immediate. Art with Heart, the brand they created together, began gaining recognition in the area. At a local craft fair, Amanda set up a booth. Emma helped with sales. Grandma Dorothy organized the products. It was a true family business. It was there they met Mr. Anderson, a 78-year-old man who stopped, enchanted by the cat drawings. "My late wife loved cats. We had 7, he shared, emotional. Emma immediately connected with him, telling stories about Patches. Mr. Anderson became a loyal customer and family friend. "You know," he said one day, "you remind me that family isn't just about blood. It's a daily choice to be present." The words deeply moved Amanda. That was exactly what they had built. The twist came when Michael lost his job. His already irregular visits stopped completely. Pamela left him, taking the dream of a perfect family with her. Attorney Sarah called to inform them, "He's dropping the case. He no longer has the financial or emotional means to continue." Amanda felt a mix of relief and pity. Michael had lost 2 chances to be a father. "Should I tell Emma?" she asked Grandma Dorothy. "I think she already knows, dear. Children notice more than we realize." Indeed, when Amanda tried to explain, Emma interrupted her. "It's okay, Mom. He wasn't meant to be my dad anyway. Dad is someone who takes care of you, right? Like Patches takes care of me, like you take care of me." Her daughter's simple wisdom always surprised her. Emma had processed the abandonment in a healthy way, without bitterness but also without illusions. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, take a moment to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It helps us a lot as we're just starting out. Now continuing, life went on. The craft business grew so much that Amanda was able to rent a small studio. She kept her part-time job for benefits, but most of their income now came from Art with Heart. Emma, now 8, had become a confident and happy child. Her grades improved, she made new friends, and even Olivia, the girl who had teased her, became her friend after Emma drew a portrait of her dog. Patches, now a few years old, remained the family's guardian. He developed a habit of waiting for Emma at the gate every day after school, as if he knew the exact time. One rainy afternoon, Patches didn't show up. Emma grew worried. "Mom, where's Patches? He always waits for me." They searched everywhere, the backyard, the street, even the old storage shed that had been demolished and turned into a recreation area. It was Grandma Dorothy who found him, curled up under the stairs, mewing softly. He was hurt as if he'd been hit by a car. Panic set in. They rushed to the vet clinic, Emma crying, clutching the barely moving cat. Dr. Wilson, the vet, examined Patches carefully. "He's lucky. Nothing's broken, but he has trauma. He needs to stay overnight for observation." "Is he going to be okay?" Emma asked through tears. "We'll do everything we can, but he's strong. He's proven that before, hasn't he?" Leaving Patches at the clinic was painful. Emma didn't want to leave, and Amanda had to promise they'd return first thing in the morning. At home, the emptiness was palpable. Patches had become such a part of the family that his absence felt physical. Emma couldn't even eat dinner. She stayed in her room, clutching the drawings she had made of the cat over the years. "Mom, what if he doesn't come back? What if he leaves me like—" She didn't finish the sentence, but Amanda understood. The fear of abandonment, even if unintentional, was still there. "Patches is a fighter, sweetheart. He won't give up, not on you." During the night, Amanda heard Emma talking to herself. She approached the bedroom and listened as her daughter made promises. If Patches got better, she'd be the best owner in the world, never complain about anything again, help more around the house. Amanda's heart ached. The innocence of childhood, believing in bargains with the universe. In the morning, they were the first at the clinic. Dr. Wilson smiled when he saw them. "He had a good night. He's more alert. Would you like to see him?" Patches was in a special cage with an IV and bandages. When he saw Emma, he meowed and tried to stand. "Easy there, buddy," Dr. Wilson said. "No straining just yet." Emma slipped her finger through the bars, and Patches licked it gently. "He's saying he's okay," Emma translated, as if she understood feline language. Patches had to stay for 3 more days. Emma visited him every morning and afternoon, bringing new drawings to show him and telling him about her day. Amanda watched her daughter's dedication and thought about how that cat had taught Emma more about care and responsibility than anyone else ever could. The vet bill was high. Amanda had to dip into most of her savings, but she didn't hesitate. Patches was family. The day of his release was a celebration. Patches came home still limping but with his spirit intact. Emma prepared a special bed for him in her room, with extra pillows and his favorite blanket. "Now you're going to rest and I'll take care of you," Emma declared, "like you took care of me." And she did. Emma took full responsibility. Medicine on time, clean bandages, special meals. Amanda saw her daughter maturing through care. Grandma Dorothy watched proudly. She's learning about real love, the kind that gives without expecting anything in return. Patches' recovery coincided with a prosperous time for the family. Orders increased so much that Amanda had to hire help. She chose Monica, a single mother from the neighborhood who needed flexible work. "I know how hard it is," Amanda said during the interview. "I want to create a place where mothers can work and still care for their children." Monica accepted, moved. She had a 5-year-old son, Peter, who sometimes had to come to the studio. Emma loved having a younger child to look after. She taught Peter how to draw, told him stories about Patches, and became the big sister she'd never had. The studio became an extended family space. Grandma Dorothy spent afternoons there, sewing and telling stories. Mr. Anderson dropped by for coffee and to buy gifts for his great-grandchildren. It was a community. Patches, fully recovered, had his own special spot in the studio, a high shelf where he could observe everything, the king overseeing his kingdom. It was during one of these busy afternoons that Michael showed up. He'd lost weight and looked worn down. Amanda saw him through the window and went outside to talk before Emma noticed. "What do you want, Michael?" "I just wanted to see how she's doing. I won't cause trouble, I promise." Amanda studied her ex-husband. The arrogance was gone, replaced by a man broken by his own choices. "She's fine, happy, whole, without you." The words were harsh, but true. "I know. I ruined everything. Pamela made me see that ready-made families don't exist, but it was too late. It's always too late with you, Michael. Too late to be a father. Too late to show up. Too late to love." He didn't answer. He looked through the window and saw Emma laughing, drawing with Peter, Patches in her lap. She really does look happy. She is happy. She's learned that real family stays. It doesn't leave. Michael left without another word. Amanda returned to the studio and found Emma hugging Patches, looking out the window. "It was him, wasn't it?" Emma asked. Amanda couldn't lie to her daughter. "It was. He looked sad." "He probably is." Emma grew thoughtful, stroking Patches. "You know, Mom, I don't think he ever learned what Patches taught me." "What's that?" "That love means staying. Even when it's hard, even when it hurts. Patches stayed with me in that dark storage room. You stayed with me even when you were working so much. Grandma Dorothy stayed even when she was tired. He didn't stay." The maturity of her 8-year-old daughter was astonishing. Emma had processed the abandonment and turned it into wisdom. Life went on. The studio thrived so much that it became a small business. Amanda managed to hire 2 more women, always mothers who needed flexibility. They created a special line, Cat Tales, where each piece came with a short story written by Emma about special cats. It was a huge success. At an important fair in Denver, they were invited to exhibit. It was recognition of their hard work and creativity. In the booth, decorated with enlarged drawings by Emma, Patches was the star. Amanda had gotten special permission to bring him, and the cat, in his elegant collar, greeted visitors like a host. It was there they met Barbara, a businesswoman in the home decor industry who was enchanted by their work. "You have something special here. It's not just crafts, it's stories, it's emotion. I want to partner with you." The offer was tempting. Barbara would distribute their products in her 5 stores across the city. It was their chance to really grow. Amanda hesitated. Growing meant more responsibility, more time away from Emma, but it was her daughter who made the decision. "Mum, we can grow together. I'll help more. Grandma will help. Everyone will help. It doesn't have to be like before." And so it was. The partnership was sealed, but Amanda kept her principles. Family first. Growth would be sustainable without sacrificing what they'd built. Sales soared. Art with Heart became a well-known brand, synonymous with quality and touching stories. Emma, now 9, had her own product line and received a percentage of sales that went straight into her college fund. "I want to be a vet and an artist," Emma declared. "I'll take care of animals and draw them." Patches, now an elderly but still active cat, remained their main inspiration. He'd become something of a neighborhood mascot known by everyone. Then, tragedy almost struck again. On a quiet Sunday, Emma was playing in the renovated backyard when she heard desperate meows. Patches had climbed a tall tree chasing a bird and couldn't get down. The situation was serious. The cat was on a thin branch high up. Emma panicked. "Mom, Patches is going to fall. Amanda rushed outside. The tree was truly tall. The branch looked fragile. She tried calling Patches, but the cat was frozen in fear. Neighbors gathered. Mr. Willis brought a ladder, but it didn't reach. Ryan tried climbing the tree, but the branches couldn't hold his weight. Hours passed, and Patches remained stuck. Emma cried, helpless. Then Brian arrived, a new neighbor. He was a professional arborist and brought special equipment. "Easy there, kiddo, I'll get your friend." With ropes and skill, Brian climbed carefully. Patches, frightened, shrank back. "Hey, buddy, I'm here to help," Brian said softly. Tense minutes followed. Brian moved closer, slowly extending his hand. Patches sniffed, recognized the friendly intent, and let himself be picked up. The descent was careful. When Brian placed Patches in Emma's arms, relief washed over everyone. Neighbors applauded. Tears of joy fell. "Thank you, Emma repeated, hugging Patches tightly. Brian smiled. He was a man around 35, kind, with a calm demeanor. "Anytime. I'm happy to help. Cats are special." Amanda Johnson thanked him profusely and offered to pay, but Brian refused. To neighbors help each other, that's how it should be. From that day on, Brian became a friend to the family. They learned he was recently widowed and had moved to start over. Emma immediately adopted him, showing him her drawings and telling stories about Patches. Amanda watched their interaction with mixed feelings. There was something about Brian that drew her in, his kindness, patience with Emma, and love for animals. But after Michael, she had built high walls around her heart. Grandma Dorothy, always observant, remarked, "Not all men are the same, dear." "I know, Mum, but I'm not looking for anyone. We're fine as we are." Being fine doesn't mean closing the door to something even better. Brian started coming around more often. He helped with small repairs, played with Emma and Peter in the studio, and brought snacks on busy afternoons. Patches approved of him, which to Emma was the ultimate sign of good character. "Patches likes him, Mummy, and Patches is never wrong." About people. It was true. The cat had sharp instincts. He'd distrusted Michael from the start, but with Brian it was different. He sought out his lap and purred in his presence. Time passed. Brian became a natural part of their routine. No pressure, no expectations. Just present the way Emma had learned love should be. One autumn afternoon, while preparing a big holiday order, Brian made a suggestion. "How about we create a special Christmas campaign? Part of the sales could go to the local animal shelter." Emma jumped for joy. "Yes, we can draw pictures of all the shelter kitties to help them find homes." Amanda smiled. The idea was perfect, aligned with the values she was trying to teach. Emma. The Christmas Paws campaign was a resounding success. Emma spent weeks at the shelter, drawing each cat and writing their stories. Brian helped by taking photos and organizing. Amanda watched the two together and felt something soften inside her. Brian was patient with Emma, respected her boundaries, and never tried to force a fatherly role. The results exceeded expectations. Not only did they raise a significant amount for the shelter, but 15 cats were adopted thanks to Emma's stories. At the campaign's closing party held at the shelter, Emma gave a speech. "I learned from my cat Patches that everyone deserves love and a home. He saved me by showing me that family is who chooses to stay with you. I hope these kitties find families who choose them every day." The whole shelter applauded. Amanda had tears in her eyes. Her little girl had turned pain into purpose. Brian approached her. "You've raised an incredible girl, Amanda." She practically raised herself with the help of a cat, and a mother who chose to be present when she realized what mattered. The words touched Amanda. It was true. She had chosen, sacrificed, and fought to be there, and every moment had been worth it. Life took on a new rhythm. The studio now had a social mission. Part of the profits always went to animal causes. Emma started a blog sharing stories of rescued animals, with Brian helping on the technical side. Patches, now officially a senior cat, had his moments of glory, becoming the poster boy for a senior pet adoption campaign. His story with Emma inspired many families. Then, during a routine checkup, Dr. Wilson delivered the difficult news. Patches' kidneys are failing. It's common at his age. With treatment, we can give him quality of life, but he didn't. Need to finish. Amanda understood. Patches' time was limited. Telling Emma was one of the hardest moments of her life. The girl, now 10, listened quietly. "How long?" she asked, too mature for her age. "We don't know. Months? Maybe a year if we're lucky." Emma hugged Patches, who purred obliviously to the conversation about his fate. "Then let's make every day count." And they did. Emma created a bucket list for Patches: eat his favorite treats every day, nap in the sunniest spot, get extra cuddles. The illness progressed slowly. Patches grew thinner, moved slower, but kept his spirit. He still waited for Emma after school, still supervised the studio, still comforted when needed. Brian was a crucial support during this time. He took Patches to vet visits when Amanda couldn't. Research treatments stayed present. One evening, Amanda found him in the backyard with Emma, both tending to the garden they'd expanded. "Brian's teaching me to grow catnip," Emma explained, "so Patches always has fresh ones." Amanda watched them together. Their easy interaction, the mutual care. Her guarded heart began to soften. Months passed. Patches fought bravely. Emma spoiled him endlessly. The family rallied around their little feline warrior. Then one spring morning, they found Patches sound asleep in his favorite sunny spot. Emma approached for her morning cuddle and realized, "Mom," her voice was a whisper. Amanda rushed over. Patches had passed peacefully in his sleep, in the place he loved, after a life full of love. The tears were heavy, raw, necessary. Emma hugged her best friend's still warm body, thanking him for every moment. "He waited till I grew up," Emma said through tears. "He made sure I'd be okay before leaving." It was true. Patches had fulfilled his protector's mission to the end. The funeral was simple but meaningful. They buried Patches in the garden he adored beneath the tree where he'd once been stuck. The whole neighborhood came. That cat had touched so many lives. Emma read a letter she'd written. "Dear Patches, you taught me love means showing up. You saved me, not just from that dark storage room, but from loneliness. Because of you, I learned to draw, helped other animals, found my purpose. You'll live on in every sketch I make, every cat I help. Thank you for choosing our family. Thank you for staying. I'll love you forever." Not a dry eye remained. Even reserved Mr. Anderson wiped tears. The grief was real and honored. Amanda didn't try to lessen Emma's pain or suggest getting another cat right away. She let her daughter process the loss. Brian stayed present, quiet when needed, supportive, without intruding. He was the one who suggested creating a memorial for Patches at the studio. What about a wall telling his story, to inspire others about the power of love between pets and people? Emma loved the idea. She spent weeks crafting special artwork, illustrating their whole journey with Patches. The memorial's unveiling was moving. Clients, friends, family, all shared stories of how Patches had touched their lives, directly or not. Amanda realized his legacy went deeper. He'd taught them unconditional love, the meaning of presence, the bonds of chosen family. He'd brought people together, created purpose, changed lives. Months later, during a quiet afternoon at the studio, Emma approached Amanda with a solemn look. "Mom, I think it's time." "Time for what, sweetheart?" "To help another cat. Patches would want that." Amanda smiled. Emma was ready. They went to the shelter together. Emma walked past the cages, observing. She stopped before an elderly black cat with just one eye. "This one," Emma pointed. "Her name's Shadow. She's 8 and has been here 2 years because nobody wants an older special needs cat." Amanda studied the cat. Thin, dull fur, her single eye weary with resignation. Not the obvious choice for most. "Are you sure, honey? She might need extra care." "Patches taught me that the special ones need love the most," Emma replied with conviction. The shelter volunteer, Nicole, approached in surprise. "Shadow? You want to meet Shadow? She's very skittish. She doesn't usually interact with people." "Can I try?" Emma asked. They opened the cage. Shadow shrank into the corner. Emma sat on the floor, patient and unhurried. She began speaking softly. "Hi, Shadow. I know what it's like to lose things. You lost an eye, I lost my best friend, but we can help each other." Amanda watched, moved. Her daughter had learned empathy in the deepest way. After long minutes, Shadow cautiously approached. She sniffed Emma's hand, then allowed herself to be touched. It was a magical moment. "She's never done that before," Nicole whispered, astonished. Brian, who had accompanied the visit, smiled. "Emma has a gift, just like her mum." The adoption process was quick. Shadow went home that same day, carrying years of abandonment and the hope of a fresh start. The adjustment wasn't easy. Shadow hid, barely ate, and startled at every movement. Emma had to use all the patience Patches had taught her. "She needs time, Mum. Time to understand she has a family now." Amanda saw herself in that process. How long had it taken her to trust again after Michael? How many walls had she built? Grandma Dorothy made a perceptive observation. "Sometimes we save others to save ourselves." Weeks passed. Emma kept a gentle routine with Shadow, meals at the same time, a calm voice, respect for her space. Slowly, small progress emerged. Shadow began eating in their presence, then exploring the house and finally accepting brief affection. The breakthrough came on a stormy night. Emma had been afraid of thunder since childhood, a leftover from nights alone when Amanda worked. Usually, Patches comforted her. Amanda woke to the sound of thunder and went to check on Emma. She froze at the sight. Shadow was on the bed with Emma, the two curled together, shielding each other from fear. It was the start of a new friendship. Shadow had chosen to return the love she'd been given. The studio continued thriving. The Patches Memories line was a success, and now Emma began drawing Shadow, creating stories about overcoming hardships and second chances. Brian became an even bigger part of the operation. Beyond helping with deliveries and organization, he brought fresh ideas for digital marketing. "You have incredible stories. They need to reach more people," he argued. During a planning meeting, Amanda realized how much she'd changed. She discussed growth strategies without the old panic, envisioning expansion without sacrificing family. "We could open a branch," Monica suggested. "I'd coordinate, you'd oversee." It was tempting and terrifying. Amanda looked at Emma, who was drawing Shadow in the corner. "What do you think, sweetheart?" Emma lifted her eyes. "I think Patches would want us to help more people, but only if we stay a family first." Her daughter's wisdom still amazed her. At 11, Emma had a clarity of values many adults lacked. They decided to try. The branch would be in the neighboring area, keeping things close. Monica, who had proven trustworthy and capable, would handle daily management. The opening was a community event. The mayor attended, impressed by the story of women's entrepreneurship and social impact. Local press covered it, highlighting how a cat had inspired a successful business. Amid the celebration, Amanda noticed Michael watching from a distance. He'd aged, looking weary. Their eyes met, and he gave a timid wave before leaving. Emma saw him too. "He looks lonely," she remarked without bitterness. "Some people choose loneliness," Amanda replied, trying not to sound harsh. "Or maybe they don't know how to choose differently," Emma mused. That night, already at home, Amanda found Brian in the garden, tending to the plants they had planted in memory of Patches. "It was a big day," he remarked. "It was. I never imagined we'd come this far." "You underestimate your strength, Amanda. You always have." There was something in his tone, a restrained emotion. Amanda felt the moment approaching, the one she'd been putting off. "Brian, I know," he gently interrupted. "You need time. I understand walls and fears. I'm in no hurry." His understanding disarmed her. Used to the pressure and demands of Michael, Brian's patience was unsettling. "What if I'm never ready?" Brian smiled, a sad but genuine smile. "Then I'll have been blessed with the friendship of two incredible women and one resilient cat." "That's not nothing." Amanda felt something break inside her. The walls she'd so carefully built began to crumble. In the weeks that followed, she allowed herself to see Brian with new eyes. She noticed how he respected her boundaries, how He included Grandma Dorothy in conversations, how he treated the staff with respect, how patient he was with the children who visited the studio. Shadow surprisingly adored Brian. The usually aloof cat sought his lap, purring whenever he appeared. Emma said it was a definitive sign. Shadow doesn't trust easily. If she trusts him. Amanda knew her daughter was right, but trusting was still hard. The turning point came unexpectedly. Amanda caught a bad flu but stubbornly kept working. On the third day, she fainted in the studio. She woke up in the hospital with Emma crying beside her, Grandma Dorothy praying, and Brian holding her hand. "You scared us," he said softly. The doctor explained, exhaustion, dehydration, the flu had worsened. She needed absolute rest for a week. But the studio, the orders... Amanda tried to sit up. "Everything's under control," Brian assured her. "Monica, your mom and I are handling it. You need to take care of yourself now." It was hard for Amanda to delegate, to trust others with her business, her life, but she had no choice. During her recovery at home, she watched in amazement as everything ran smoothly. Brian coordinated efficiently, Grandma Dorothy oversaw quality, Monica managed both locations, and Emma helped after school. "See?" Grandma Dorothy commented. "You've built something bigger than yourself. Trustworthy people, a solid system. You can relax." It was a hard but necessary lesson. Amanda had built not just a business but a support network. Emma cared for her mother with touching dedication, bringing tea, reading stories, and bringing Shadow for company. "Now I take care of you," Emma said, "like you took care of me." The circle was complete. The care Amanda had invested returned multiplied. One afternoon, Brian arrived with homemade soup. He sat at a respectful distance and began to speak. "When my wife died, I thought I'd never smile again. We moved here to escape the memories, then I met you. Emma taught me life goes on. You showed me strength comes from daily choices. Grandma Dorothy reminded me family is built." Amanda listened, her heart racing. "I'm not asking for anything, Amanda. I just want you to know you saved my life as much as you saved those cats. You gave me a new purpose." Tears came without warning. Amanda cried for her fear, her resistance, the happiness she'd been denying herself. "I'm so scared," she confessed. "Me too," Brian admitted. "But maybe we can be scared together." It was the start of a subtle shift. Amanda began to lower her guard to allow closeness. Small gestures, sharing coffee, walks in the park, more personal conversations. Emma watched it all with the wisdom of someone who'd learned about real love. She didn't push, but silently supported. Shadow, now fully adjusted, had transformed. Her fur shone, she'd gained weight, and she played like a kitten. She was living proof that second chances work. The first anniversary without Patches was hard. Emma organized a celebration of his life at the studio. Clients and friends shared how products inspired by him had touched their lives. One woman, Mrs. Reynolds, said tearfully, "I bought a painting of Patches' story for my granddaughter, who had lost her puppy. It helped her understand that love remains even after they're gone." Another client, Paul, shared, "Your story inspired me to adopt an elderly cat. Now Whiskers is my best friend." The stories multiplied. Patches' legacy lived on in every rescued animal, every reunited family, every healed heart. That night, Amanda found Emma in the garden, talking to a photo of Patches they kept on a small altar. "I was telling him about Shadow," Emma explained. "I think he'd be happy." "He definitely would be. You've honored his memory in the best possible way." "Mom, can I ask you something?" "Of course, sweetheart." "You like Brian, don't you? Like, really like him?" Amanda hesitated, then decided to be honest. "I do, but it's complicated." "Love is always complicated. Patches taught me that. He was a stray, hurt, scared. We were a broken family. But it worked because we chose every day to make it work." How could an 11-year-old be so wise? Amanda hugged her daughter, grateful to have her in her life. "When did you get so smart?" "I had good teachers. You, Grandma, Patches, and now Shadow. Life found a new rhythm. The business stabilized with 2 locations running well. Amanda learned to delegate, to trust the team she'd built. Brian became a constant but not intrusive presence. He respected Amanda's space while building a solid friendship that slowly grew into something more. Grandma Dorothy, at 75, remained active and vibrant. The studio had given her new purpose, keeping her social and productive. She was the one who made the crucial observation one afternoon: "Amanda, life's too short to waste love." They were preparing Christmas orders, the second since Patch's passing. Emma had created a special line, Whisker Angels honoring pets who had crossed the Rainbow Bridge. "I know, Mom, but..." "No buts. Do you think if I could have your father back for one day I'd hesitate? Brian is a good man. Emma adores him. Even Shadow approves. What more do you need?" Amanda knew her mother was right. Fear was stealing possibilities of happiness. That night, a fierce storm hit. Amanda woke up worried about leaks in the studio. She called to check the security system and discovered a power outage on the block. She dressed quickly and went to check. She found Brian already there, covering products with tarps, protecting everything from rain coming through a broken window. "How did you..." "I worried too, came to check," he explained, soaked. They worked together to minimize damage. When everything was finally secured, they were exhausted and drenched. They sat on the studio floor, listening to the rain ease. Amanda looked at Brian, saw his dedication, his care, his unspoken love, and made a decision. "Brian?" "Yes. Thank you. For everything, for being here, for caring about what matters to me, for waiting." He smiled. "Always." Amanda took a deep breath. "I think I'm ready to try." Brian's smile lit up the dark studio. "Are you sure?" "No. But I've learned absolute certainty doesn't exist. What exists is the daily choice to try." It was a new beginning, cautious but genuine. Amanda let Brian properly court her. Simple dinners, park walks, always including Emma when appropriate. Emma quietly cheered. Shadow, as if understanding the change, divided her affection among the three, creating connections. The first time Brian stayed for family dinner was a significant milestone. Grandma Dorothy made her famous lasagna, Emma prepared dessert, and Amanda set the table with care. "Feels like Christmas," Emma remarked happily. "It's a celebration," Grandma Dorothy said, "of life, family, and second chances." The dinner flowed naturally. Conversations, laughter, shared stories. Brian fit in as if he'd always belonged. Later, as they helped with the dishes, Emma made a comment that touched everyone. Patches would have loved this. He always knew how to bring the right people together. It was true. Somehow that stray cat had orchestrated connections that lasted beyond his physical life. The relationship evolved naturally. Brian never tried to replace anything, only to add. He respected the memories, traditions, and family rituals. When Emma turned 12, they threw a party at the studio. It was a double celebration, her birthday and the success of the social project they'd expanded. Now, beyond donating part of the profits, they offered free workshops for underprivileged children to learn crafts. Emma volunteered as an assistant, teaching drawing. During the party, Michael showed up. He'd called ahead asking for permission. He brought a simple gift and a card. Emma greeted him with polite distance. She thanked him, exchanged brief words, but it was clear there was no connection. "Are you happy?" Michael asked. "Very. I have everything I need. I'm glad for you." He left soon after. Amanda watched him go, feeling not anger but pity. Michael had chosen to lose all this. Brian approached her. "You okay?" Damn, it's strange. I don't feel anything anymore. No anger, no hurt, just emptiness where he should have been. It's closure, healthy." That night, after everyone had left, Amanda found Emma in the garden with Shadow. The cat had become as sociable as Patches had been, but still shared special moments with Emma. "It was a good day, Mom." "Yes, it was." "You're growing up too fast." Emma smiled. "Patches once told me that growing up is good as long as we don't forget the important lessons." "Patches talked to you?" "In his own way, with gestures, looks, presence. He taught me the language of silent love." Amanda marveled again at her daughter's depth. Emma had turned difficult experiences into wisdom. The year flew by. The business thrived, now with an online store reaching the whole country. Amanda and Emma's story inspired women entrepreneurs everywhere. They were invited to speak at a women's entrepreneurship event. Amanda hesitated, but Emma insisted, "Our story can help other mums, Mum. Show them it's possible to start over." The talk was emotional. Amanda spoke about tough choices, sacrifices, and fears. Emma talked about Patches, about learning to turn pain into purpose. The audience laughed, cried, and felt inspired. Afterward, dozens of women approached them with their own stories of struggle and triumph. A young mother, Pamela, squeezed Amanda's hand tightly. "You gave me hope. I thought I had to choose between being a mom and having a career. Now I see I can build something that includes both." It was an impact they hadn't anticipated, their personal story becoming collective inspiration. That night, in a hotel in Denver, Amanda called home. Brian answered, taking care of everything in their absence. "How are things?" "Perfect. Your mum's teaching the new girls. Monica handled the deliveries, and Shadow's here on my lap supervising." Amanda smiled. She had a true partner, someone who didn't just support but actively participated. "Brian?" "Yeah?" "I love you." Silence on the other end, then a choked-up voice. "I love you too, Amanda." For a long time now. It was the first time they'd said it. Emma, overhearing the conversation, grinned and hugged her mum. "Finally," she whispered. The journey home felt different. Something had shifted with the declaration. Amanda felt lighter, more whole. They found Brian waiting at the airport with flowers, simple daisies, Amanda's favorite. "Welcome back, my famous speakers," he said. The hug was different, more intimate, more promising. At home, Grandma Dorothy had baked a cake to celebrate. Shadow meowed loudly, as if joining the celebration. "We have news," Grandma Dorothy announced. "We received an offer. A national retail chain wants an exclusive partnership." It was an opportunity for exponential growth, but also meant big changes. Amanda looked around. Her proud mother, her wise beyond her years daughter, her patient and true love, the rescued cat who had rescued them all. "What do you all think?" she asked. "I think Patches taught us not to be afraid to grow," Emma said, "as long as we keep our roots." "We can set conditions," Brian suggested. "Keep creative control, the social mission, the family values." "It's not just about us anymore," Grandma Dorothy added. "We have a responsibility to our employees, to the community." It was true. What had begun as a single mother's desperation had become a source of income for dozens of families. They decided to accept, but on their terms. The negotiations were long, with Amanda learning to value their work and refuse anything less than they deserved. Emma joined the meetings when she could, learning about business, but mostly about integrity. During this intense period, Brian asked the question that would change everything. "Amanda, will you marry me?" They were in the garden tending to the plants. Emma was at school, Grandma Dorothy in the studio. It was a rare moment of privacy. Amanda dropped the watering can. She had imagined this moment, but was still surprised. "Brian, You don't have to answer now. I just want you to know I'm here forever if you'll have me. You, Emma, Grandma Dorothy, even Shadow, you're my family." Tears spilled from Amanda's eyes. Tears of joy, of conquered fear, of accepted love. "I need to talk to Emma," she finally said. "Of course, she comes first, always." The conversation with Emma was easier than expected. "Finally, it took you long enough," the girl exclaimed. "Can I help plan the wedding?" "So you approve?" Emma grew serious. "Mom, Brian isn't my dad. My dad chose to leave, but Brian chooses to stay every day." "That means more." Her wisdom was still astounding. Emma had processed the complexities with maturity. "And he likes Shadow," Emma added. "That's essential." Amanda laughed. Emma's criteria were unique, but spot on. The engagement was announced. At a family gathering, Grandma Dorothy cried with joy, "It's about time, I'm not getting any younger." The wedding would be simple, in the garden where Patches was buried. Just family, close friends, and employees who had become family. The preparations revealed the support network they'd built. Everyone wanted to help. Monica coordinated decorations, Jennifer baked the cake, The staff crafted special favors. Emma designed the invitations, a human and feline family intertwined, representing all their connections. But life had one more test. 2 weeks before the wedding, Grandma Dorothy fell ill. It was a minor stroke, leaving minimal effects but frightening everyone. In the hospital, she squeezed Amanda's hand. "Don't postpone the wedding. I need to see you happy." "Mom, we can wait." "No, I've learned from you that life is now. I want to be there, to dance, to celebrate, even if it's in a wheelchair." The matriarch's determination won out. They adapted their plans, a shorter ceremony, a more accessible reception, but kept the essence. Grandma Dorothy threw herself into physical therapy with impressive dedication. On the wedding day, she walked down the aisle leaning on Emma, carrying the rings that Shadow supervised on a special cushion. Amanda wore a simple dress made by her mother years ago, altered to fit. It was perfect, carrying history and love. Brian waited with emotion, his elderly parents present, finally meeting the family their son had chosen. The vows were personal and touching. Amanda spoke about walls torn down, about love that waits, about family built together. Brian promised not only to love, but to honor all they had built before him, to be an addition, not a replacement. Emma read a text she had written. "Patches taught me that family is who chooses to stay. Today we celebrate choices. My mom's choice to trust again, Brian's choice to wait and persist, Grandma's choice to keep fighting, my choice to open my heart, and Shadow's choice to let us love her. We're family because we choose to be every single day." There wasn't a dry eye in the room. The wisdom of that 12-year-old girl touched universal truths. The celebration was joyful and relaxed. Grandma Dorothy danced, supported but radiant. Shadow moved among the guests, sociable in a way no one had imagined possible. Michael sent a card wishing them happiness. It was put away without comment. The past had been processed and filed away. The honeymoon was local, 3 days at a bar. Mountain Inn. Emma stayed with Grandma Dorothy, both insisting the couple needed this time. "Go. Shadow and I have everything under control," Emma assured them. When they returned, everything was in order. Emma had managed the studio with Monica's help, Grandma Dorothy supervising from the couch. "See, we're perfectly capable," Grandma Dorothy said proudly. Married life settled in naturally. Brian didn't try to change anything, simply integrating into what already existed. He respected the rituals, the traditions, the individual spaces. Emma flourished with the added stability. Her grades improved even more. Her drawings gained new depth, her confidence grew. The deal with the national chain was finalized. Art with Heart kept its essence while expanding its reach. More women were employed, more stories were told, more animals were helped. They created a foundation, Patches Legacy, dedicated to connecting children and animals in vulnerable situations. Emma became a young ambassador, visiting shelters and sharing her story. At one of these events, they met Mason, an 8-year-old boy who hadn't spoken since losing his parents. He had been in the shelter for a year, isolated and sad. Emma approached him with Shadow. "Hi, this is Shadow. She lost things too, but she found a new family. Want to pet her?" Mason hesitated, then reached out. Shadow, with her unerring instinct, rubbed against him, purring. It was the start of a connection. Mason began visiting the studio, helping with the cats, learning from Emma. Little by little, words began to emerge. Amanda and Brian watched the miracle repeat itself. What Patches had done for Emma, Shadow was now doing for Mason. "Are you thinking what I'm thinking?" Grandma Dorothy asked one afternoon. Amanda knew the family was about to grow again. The adoption process was long and complex, but when Mason finally came home to stay, it felt meant to be. Emma got the brother she had secretly wished for. Mason got a family that accepted him in his silence and celebrated every word. Shadow gained another human to protect, seeming to understand her mission as she divided her attention between the two with feline wisdom. The house grew fuller, louder, more alive. Brian adapted a room for Mason, painting it with him, creating a safe space. Amanda sometimes paused to take in her unlikely family. The warrior mother in recovery, The daughter wise beyond her years, the chosen son finding his voice, the husband who had waited for the right time, and the cat who proved second chances really do work. And in the garden, beneath the vibrant blooming flowers, Patches rested, his living legacy in every act of love, every choice to stay, every life transformed. On the second anniversary of Patches' passing, they held a special celebration. Mason, now speaking and fully integrated, read a letter he had written. "Dear Patches, I never met you, but I know you. You're in every gesture Emma makes when she teaches me, in every comforting touch from Shadow when I have nightmares, in every story our family tells. Thank you for starting all this. I promise to carry on your legacy." That's exactly what. It was a legacy of love that multiplied, touching lives, creating connections, proving every day that family is a choice, presence, and persistence. The studio now had a children's wing where kids like Mason came to draw, create, and heal through art and interaction with animals. Brian carefully oversaw the expansion, always checking with Amanda to ensure growth didn't sacrifice their essence. "Are we doing this right?" Amanda sometimes asked. "Look around," he'd reply. "See the changed lives, the smiles, the families brought together? That's your answer." And it was. What had begun with a cat saving a girl had become a movement of mutual salvation. One ordinary morning, Amanda woke to noise in the kitchen. She found Emma teaching Mason how to make cat-shaped pancakes, Grandma Dorothy supervising from her chair, Brian brewing coffee, and Shadow sneaking bits of batter. It was perfect family chaos. It was everything Amanda never knew she needed. "Good morning, sleepyhead," Emma greeted. "We're making special coffee." "Special why?" Mason shyly held up a note. He'd been chosen to display his drawings at the school's children's art show, progress that had seemed impossible a year ago. "Congratulations, sweetheart." Amanda hugged him, feeling him relax into her arms, trusting. Over coffee, they planned their visit to the exhibition, a full family outing. "Can Shadow come?" Mason asked hopefully. "Afraid not, but we can make shirts with her picture," Emma suggested. Mason's eyes lit up. That's how they worked. Creative solutions, mutual support, love in action. That afternoon at the studio, Amanda got an unexpected call. A TV producer wanted to make a documentary about their story. "It's a story that needs to be told," the producer, Kathy, insisted. "About fresh starts, non-traditional families, the healing power of animals." Amanda hesitated. Exposing their family was a risk, but Emma, overhearing, touched her arm. "Mom, if our story can help one mother not give up, one child find hope, isn't it worth it?" So Emma's infinite wisdom decided it. They agreed with conditions to protect the kids. Filming was a unique experience. They retraced their journey, from that fateful day in the warehouse to their now expanded family. They visited the old warehouse, site now a playground. Emma told the cameras how Patches saved her, not just physically but emotionally. Mason, overcoming shyness, spoke about how Shadow helped him find his voice again. Brian shared about loss and new beginnings, about chosen family. Grandma Dorothy, with her trademark humor, mused about cats saving humans and humans who think they're saving cats. The most touching moment was when they visited Patches' grave. The family gathered, each placing a flower, silently giving thanks. Shadow, as if understanding, meowed softly and rubbed against the small headstone. "He knows," Emma said simply. "Wherever he is, Patches knows we kept our promise." When the documentary aired, it went viral. Millions were moved by the true story of resilience, love, and second chances. Letters and messages poured in daily, stories of people inspired to adopt, to not give up on family, to believe in fresh starts. One message stood out in particular. It was from a young mother, Christine. "I was about to give up, working 3 jobs, my daughter demanding my presence, guilt consuming me. I saw your story and understood. It's not about perfection, it's about daily choices. Today, I quit one job. We'll have less, but we'll have each other. Thank you for showing me the way." Amanda cried as she read it. This was exactly what Patches had started. A chain of love and courage. The foundation grew exponentially with visibility. Donations allowed them to expand the animal-assisted therapy program. Emma, now 14, coordinated the youth program, training other teens to work with children and animals. Her maturity and leadership were impressive. Universities were already showing interest in her story and potential. "College is still far off," Amanda reminded her. "I know, but I already know what I want. Psychology with a specialization in animal-assisted therapy. I'll put science behind what Patches taught me intuitively." Amanda's pride was endless. Her girl had turned trauma into a life mission. Mason, now 10, had become a promising artist. His drawings, always featuring cats, sold well at fairs. The money went into his college fund. "I want to be a vet artist," he declared. "Take care of animals and draw them." Brian laughed. "Why choose just one thing?" It was the family's philosophy. Embrace multiplicities, create unique paths. One special afternoon, they had an unexpected visitor. Michael showed up, but not alone. He had a girl around 6 years old with him. "Amanda, this is Lily, my daughter." "Lily, this is an old friend of Daddy's." Amanda processed the information. Michael had another daughter, and it seemed he was present this time. Emma stepped forward naturally. "Hi, Lily. I'm Emma. Want to meet my cat?" Emma's ease broke the tension. The girls left, letting the adults talk. "I learned, Michael," said simply. "Too late for us, but I learned. I'm there for Lily. She teaches me every day what I lost with Emma." Amanda felt the last bit of resentment dissolve. Michael had found redemption in his own way. "I'm happy for you," she said sincerely. "Emma is amazing. You've done a wonderful job." "Not us. Life, Patches, the daily choices." Emma made herself. When the girls returned, Lily chatted about Shadow. Emma had made a new friend with her characteristic ease. "Can we come back?" Lily asked hopefully. Amanda looked at Brian, who nodded. Of course, Emma would love that. It was an unexpected closing of a circle, not family in the traditional sense, but a respectful human connection. After they left, Emma remarked, "She's nice. Kind of sad, but nice." "Sad?" "Yeah. I think her dad works a lot." She said she wanted a family like ours. Amanda hugged her daughter. Even present, Michael was absent. Some patterns were hard to break. "We can include her sometimes," Emma suggested. "Not as family, but as a friend. Every kid deserves a little of our magic." Emma's generosity never ceased to amaze. She had learned that love multiplied doesn't diminish, and so Lily became an occasional visitor. Michael kept a respectful distance, but was grateful for the kindness. The 3rd anniversary of Patches was marked by the official opening of the Patches Therapy Center, a space dedicated to animal-assisted therapy. The mayor cut the ribbon, praising the private initiative with social impact. But the special moment came when Mason released a swarm of butterflies, symbolizing transformation. Patches loved chasing butterflies, Emma remembered. Now they fly free in his name. The center provided free services to children facing various challenges. The waiting list was long, but they worked hard to help everyone. Shadow, now a senior, but still active cat, was the head therapist. Her story of resilience connected deeply with the patients. New animals kept arriving. Honey, a gentle abandoned dog. Thunder, a black cat who defied superstitions. Droplet, a rescued rabbit who adored children. Each animal had a story and a purpose. Emma coordinated the matches between animals and children with impressive precision. "It's intuition," she explained. "Patches taught me to see invisible connections." Amanda watched her daughter work and saw the best of all of them. Her own perseverance, Grandma Dorothy's wisdom, Brian's patience, Mason's resilience, and Patches' unconditional love. During one of these moments, Brian approached her. "What's on your mind?" How everything changed, how a moment of despair turned into so much beauty. The despair was just the catalyst. The beauty was always in you, waiting for the right moment to bloom. It was true. Patches had been the gardener who made that blooming possible. That evening, during their weekly family meeting, a tradition started by Grandma Dorothy, each shared their gratitude. Mason gave thanks for words found, a welcoming family and a hopeful future. Emma expressed gratitude for clear purpose, an expanded family, and a legacy to honor. Brian thanked life for a second chance at love, a family ready to love, and a shared mission. Grandma Dorothy was grateful for a life long enough to see happiness multiplied. Amanda gave thanks for courage found, love allowed, and a family built. And they all thanked Patches, the street cat who showed them that family is about presence, choice, and unconditional love. In the garden, flowers grew strong over the resting place of their little hero. His legacy lived on in every act of love, every transformed life, every choice to stay. The story continues because true legacies of love never end. They multiply, transform, and touch lives in endless waves of kindness and hope. And somewhere, perhaps among the stars, a spotted cat purrs in contentment, knowing his mission was fulfilled beyond all expectations. The end. Dear listener, we hope the journey of Amanda, Emma, and Patches has touched your heart as deeply as it touched ours. If you have a special animal or a story of resilience, share it in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more heartwarming tales.